this is Akovia and I'm back with another tutorial. This time we're going to concentrate on adding some options to your browser, and in this instance the Chrome browser, to help navigate and see some things on fan art that wouldn't be possible otherwise. This is pretty much the stock site right here, and we're in the activity stream. And normally when you want to look at a picture, you have to, in the full size, you would have to go to the actual series or movie or music page and click on them there. What we're going to do is install a pop-up viewer called Imagus that will allow us to actually open it up right on the page and see it full size and be able to do things like zoom and pan around without having to go to the page. Also going to install a custom style and show you what it looks like here. I believe this is my one. Here we go. Gives us a nice dark theme, and it actually compacts a lot of the boxes and artwork so you can get a lot more on one page without having to do a lot of scrolling. And so anyway, without further ado, we're going to get started here. And what I've done is I've installed Chromium in a virtual machine so I can have a fresh install. I already had Chrome installed and set up. That's why I chose Chromium. Basically everything will be the same as far as this is concerned. They're almost identical, just some differences in codecs and such. Don't ask again. Alright, well, the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and let's get our theme installed. To do that, what we want to do is go to the Chrome extensions, and let's see. Oh, actually, yes, we need to install Stylish for Chrome. And Chrome Webstore, Stylish, that's exactly what we want. And let's get it installed. Alright, so now that that's installed, what we're going to do is download the code that I made, and I'll make these links available on the site. We want this JavaScript right here, user JavaScript, and let's download it. Here it is. I'm going to just Control A to copy, and we're going to create a new style. So write new style, we're going to paste our code, and the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this code only works on the fanart.tv site. So what we're going to do, let's see, let's go to fanart. Let me see how I have it set up on my other one. Stylish, edit. Alright, this is the code that we want. URL starting with. So in our stylish here, URL starting with, and basically fanart.tv. We'll give it a name. Oh, that's not the code I wanted. I clicked the wrong link, excuse me. Let's go back. This is what we want. Sorry about that. Now, that in there. Alright. I'm just going to copy the name from here. Paste it here. We'll enable it. Everything looks good. Hit save. And let's try the activity stream. There we go. Nice dark theme. Like I said before, let's think. Oh, I know. Shimmy just did a bunch of. Let's do The Simpsons. I'll show you some of the features of this style. There's TV results. 119 images. This is a great thing to see where the compact really kind of helps out. What I've done is I've made it so all the details and information fold up inside the image, and that makes it, when you've got a big page with a lot of images, you can actually look through them a lot easier. And we can see the difference if we turn this off and just disable. Now you can see all these are down by default. But to enable it, now you can see the page is much shorter. And when you want to vote, or I'm not logged in right now, or download, and so on and so forth, you can do that as well. So I've made a lot of different adjustments across the entire site in this theme. So you'll either like it or you won't, but you get a lot more images on one page. So with that installed, the next thing we're going to do is get our pop-up installed. Now for that, for Chrome, it's very easy, but I'm going to show this for reference. This used to be an extension only for Opera, and it was hosted on Opera's website, and then he made it for Chrome and Firefox as well, but the Opera blog where this was hosted is no longer. So he's got a temporary page set up here. I'll make this link available. That gives you an FAQ and shows you all the details about the extension and so on and so forth. And for Chrome, you just click on it, it'll take you right to the Chrome Webstore, and you can install it right here. And now it's been installed. It's pretty much that easy, but we're going to do some things to set it up and make it more useful for us. But right out of the box, I'll probably have to refresh this page. There we go. Right out of the box, these are all the default settings, but now when you hover over an image, you'll see the image, and we can zoom in and so on and so forth like I showed before. But let's go ahead and change a few settings here. So we want to go to Tools, Extensions, and we want to go to our Options page for Imagus. Imagus is made up of quite a few different tools. The viewer is just a straight viewer for when you're opening up images directly in your browser. You can actually change the background and quite a few options here. You can play around with that as you like. We're going to concentrate on hover zoom. And the first thing that I do is I make it so it doesn't do it automatically. I only make it available when I'm holding my shift key. I recommend you can use what you like, but when we add the mod later, you'll see why it just works out. If you don't have anything locked to those keys, I'd recommend using the shift key. Let's click our advanced so we have everything shown to us. The other thing is I changed the custom CSS. You can change how big the border is, the color of the border, rounded corners, straight corners, so on and so forth. And I found one that I like. I made this a while ago. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm going to copy it from my regular installation. And you can play around and adjust this as you like, but I think it's a great starting point. And bang. We'll save our settings. And now let's go back. Now you will get the highlight to say that it's available to pop up, but it won't do anything until you actually hit your shift key and then go over. Alright, first thing you notice is the border is transparent now. If we zoom in, you can see that. Let's find a transparent. Here we go. Now that's great, you can see, but it's hard to see with these backgrounds. So the other thing we're going to do is install a modification called a user script that passed from the site. A moderator on the site thankfully made for us, mainly aimed at moderators, but anyone's free to use it. And you can see how we moderate images then, and makes it a whole lot easier than having to drag images over into Photoshop or into GIMP. And it lets us check edges on posters. So let's get to that. And the way we're going to do that is I uploaded it to the site. Now, just for full disclosure, if you look up here in the forums, this is where, I believe like page 7, this is where he originally posted it for everyone to use. And since then he's actually made a change, and you can read about it here. But when he made the change, it actually broke another function. I'm not sure if he's going to fix it or not, but I've kept version 002 and made that available, because it's worked fine for me ever since. But this is where the code's at, the newest code, but I recommend the code that I've kept. Should be right here. That was the first code I grabbed. So that's a user script, and this will allow us to change the background colors and actually check the gutters on logos. So to use this, I'm going to go ahead and save it, and actually I already did when I did my Firefox tutorial. It's in my downloads. So once you save it, I believe you need to have your extensions page open, which was Tools, Extensions, and we're going to drag it right from our downloads into this page and add yes. Alright, that easy. Now it's in there and it's enabled. Now when we hover over here we go, either one of these, a transparent image, by hitting the key combination Control-Alt-Q. Come on, hopefully I don't have to refresh. Looks like I do. Let's try this again. I want it that wanted. Here we go. I'm going to use Z first to center it and put it at its native size. And then I'm going to try Control-Q. There we go. And now it will cycle by hitting Control-Q. It'll cycle through black, white, red, and green, and transparent. So now we can see if easily see if there's any stray pixels, anything we need to change, or if you're investigating artwork to whether you like it or not, see just how it looks on the different colored backgrounds. And of course we can still zoom in and look around. And this is the feature that is missing in version 3, which is why I kept version 2. If you hit Control-Alt-W, it'll actually fill what the gutter is. As per the rules, the logo should not dip into the gutter, but any drop shadows or glows can. and this one is absolutely perfect the way it should be. So now we've got these two features, which really helps out with transparent artwork. But the other nice thing is, and I'll show you, is like on backgrounds and posters, a lot of people upload and they have bad edges on them. So the way we check that is we put our border on there, and you can gives you contrast around the edges so you can see, and you can really zoom in and make sure the edges look good. And of course this one was approved, so all the edges look good here. Here's another. And we can, if it was a kind of a white background poster, we could actually change the color to white and check it against white as well. But on darker posters, you usually want to check it on black. And that all looks good. So that's great. And obviously, like if you go to you're hunting for images on Google, and you go to your images, Magus, he's got a filter for this as well. Now it won't, the borders won't work in here. It's set for just the site. I haven't looked at the script to see if I can change that or not, but in any case, and you'll also notice there's different options, and I'll upload pictures of my settings if you want to change some stuff. But as you can see, it'll give you a show you what the dimensions are and show you what the image is called. But if you hit Shift C, you can actually toggle through the options and turn it off altogether. Especially handy when you're checking images and you want to look at an edge, since it sits right on an edge. So you can turn that off. Anyway, you can investigate through here. There's a zillion options. It'll do everything. It shows you what your shortcuts are here. The only shortcuts obviously it won't show are the ones from the custom script we just installed, which is Control Alt Q to toggle the background color, and Control Alt W to toggle on the gutter border. But you can look through the sieve here, which these are all the filters for the different sites, like Google Images, and here's the custom filter that he made. And if there's something that is not on here, you can request it from him, and you'll have to do that through the Google Store because there's no way on the new site. But if you go to the Google Store and go through all the options, you can see where you can make requests or ask for help and so on and so forth. But if you request a site, he'll usually pop one up in a day or two for you. And if he adds it to the defaults for the actual extension, all you'll have to do is hit this button and it says Update Sieve, and it'll download that new one. But if it's one that he doesn't plan to keep as part of the defaults, he'll write out the filter for you, and then you'll paste it in using the import button, and you'll import from the text or file. You can copy or paste or save it as a file and import it that way. But anyway, I won't get too far in there. There's a lot to this plugin, but for what we need it for here, that's pretty much all you need, and it works on all the pages as well. If you go to, say, the wanted page, the normal way was to click on this and wait for this thing to come up, and you go through it this way. But now we can just hover over it, and we can get whatever color background we want, and turn off that if we want, and zoom and pan and so on and so forth. Makes it much handier than the default viewer. So that's most of it. There is one other thing, well, actually two other things. The first being, if you frequent the forums, which I hope you do, There's a lot of great information there. Here we go. Pat's also made a nice custom CSS for the forums, and the link for that is here. And his is excuse me, his is a lot easier to install since he hosted it on userscripts.org. And let's just go here, and this is what it'll look like. And doesn't get much easier than this. Since we have stylish already installed, hit OK, and it's installed. And now here's our forums. Nice and dark, and the big smileys are working here. Wasn't working on Firefox for some reason, but it's working on Chrome just great. The default smileys were they have a little white outline around them since they were designed for a lighter theme, and he custom made all these smileys, which was awesome. I'm a dark theme kind of guy. Usually most people that work with graphics like the dark, so you don't get blinded by the high contrast of white. So it's just something I get used to. So now, if you've followed along so far, the last thing I want to show you is a extension. Let's see. Actually, I have the link here. I don't even have to search for it. Right here. Mordred, our music admin, made this extension to make some changes to the site. And right now it's got a little problem. It's been working just fine until he just updated and actually made some fixes, but something got messed up. But this is highly recommended, and he said he was going to try and work on it tonight, and I'm sure it's not going to be any big deal. But all you got to do is do that to install it, and I can show you some of the things it'll do. Now when you go to fanart.tv, let's refresh. I didn't think I need to be logged in. Well, I can show you on this one. I think you do have to be logged in. Now you'll get a gear icon, and under that gear icon you can turn off spinning CD art if it slows down your browser. It's really handy, especially if you're looking at in the pending or under the dashboard and there's 100 CD spinning at the same time. It can really slow down your browser. The other cool features, it'll use the actual, if there's a HD logo like this on the wanted page, it'll actually use that instead of the default text, which looks nice. The lazy load image is another super handy one when you're loading a page with a ton of images. Like if you go to, well, here's my page. Right now, like I said, the extension is not saving settings, but what it'll do, it would take a long time for this page to load. Lazy loading will only load like the first, I think he said 10 rows or something of them, and then as you scroll it'll load more, so the page loads up really quick. Very handy. I'm not sure what the search type is, and extra moderation tools are for us moderators when we're in approving and denying. It gives us some extra links to search for images on Google and so on and so forth. The other very nice thing is you can turn on or off sections under the main pages. So if you went to wanted and you're only interested in certain types of fan art, like you don't use banners, you can turn off banners, and you can turn off CD art if you don't use it. So it only loads the images you want to look for. Also very helpful on a page that has a ton of images. So I highly recommend installing this and checking it out. It'll update automatically, so as soon as it gets it fixed, it'll already be fixed in your browser. You won't have to do anything. And I think that's about it for now. I'll post all those links. Of course, I get mail right now and hurts my ears. I'll post all those links when I post this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the forums. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.